How honest should I be with my intentions when dating? This is a really good email from our boy Alex. Shout out to you, Alex. I appreciate the email. And to any of you that do have a video topic idea that you'd like to email me, the email is thedapperdev@outlook.com. Pretty straightforward and simple. Let's get into this because it's a pretty good topic. He says, "Hey man, my name is Alex. I'm 33 years old, single, no kids. YouTube recommended me your channel and I resonate with it a lot. We live similar lifestyles. I'm also a shorter guy, 5'7", 5'8", on a good day, and I keep physically fit." I kind of want to make another video separately talking about the whole height thing, because height is not as important as everyone makes it out to be. I know that's sacrilegious to some of you. You're losing your mind when I say that, but we'll talk about that in another video. He goes on to say, "I grew up in a conservative household. Expectations were to be married with kids. Traditional. So this was my mindset while dating, mostly in my 20s. And it was a huge mistake with dating. I took things way too seriously and I came off as clingy and desperate. That is never a good thing. The funny thing, though, is when I didn't act like I wanted a girlfriend, I had great success with women. I have learned, especially with the dating apps, I'm very good with getting dates, to be honest, getting them into bed, getting what I want. But as soon as I change that into wanting a girlfriend, it all goes south. But at least I understand it. I don't necessarily want a wife or girlfriend or kids tomorrow, but isn't that the goal? Should I just pretend to not want this while dating or be upfront? If I'm not upfront, I've learned in the past I've attracted good-looking women, but their values don't align with mine. And it's like a rotating hotel door I am not too proud of. If I'm upfront, I get ghosted. It's like a lose-lose situation." Good email. Thank you, man. A couple things I want to say right off the top. Chances are, when you bring up marriage and stuff and kids to a lot of the women today, sorry women, plug your ears because I'm going to be a little bit triggering to some of you. A lot of these toxic-ass girls, that doesn't feel right to them. They don't want a healthy relationship. They come from such a broken-ass home that healthy, traditional doesn't feel good to them. It freaks them out. It feels weird. It takes the toxic scumbag guy to feel like home when they come from a broken home. So that's why they say, "I don't know why I like this guy. He's such a scumbag and a cheater and a liar, and he just leaves me on red." That's what daddy did, baby. So that's what feels like home to you. That feels like home. So if you are like a good guy and you're trying to, I don't want to talk about being manipulative. I'm not going to say be manipulative. Let's be real, though. The world we live in today, you kind of got to walk, talk, and act a certain way. You got to be conscious of the way you come off to these women. Because with the internet and with the scummy-ass music and movies and television and culture in general, bro, almost everything is boring to these women. Unless you are, like I've said before, the toxic scumbag. That's what it almost takes for the more masculine than her polarity to be there. Like a nice guy, a lot of women that I've talked to, they will straight up say, the nice guys are just so boring. And that's always kind of been a thing in the past, but more so now than ever. Because, again, 10% of my audience is females, and I hate to be mean to you guys, but this is just a fact from my life's experience. Most women today are very, very toxic. Everyone's coming from a broken home. Think yourself right now. How many good, healthy, traditional homes can you think of that you know where the kids are just growing up with the Leave It to Beaver lifestyle? It's just not even a thing anymore. It's not a thing anymore. The norm now is toxic and vulgar and trashy and over-sexualized. That's the norm now. So you got to kind of play the cards you're dealt, bro. Like, I hate that as much as any of you do, but what are we going to do? We're going to just sit here and cry about it all day? We're going to have to adjust. You know, that's how we do it as men. We got to see things for what they are and adjust on the fly and do what we got to do to make it work. So I love the fact that you want the traditional relationship and marriage. Again, I got to touch on the marriage thing. Myself included, most of my audience bashes marriage, and I have myself, but I don't want to tell anybody not to get married because I think marriage is great in like the biblical sense and the bond and the family structure. But the problem is most people don't respect marriage in the biblical sense today. They just don't. So again, I don't want to say don't get married, but I will say please think long and hard about marriage and understand the risks that come with it, because there's lots of risks. And again, I like the idea of marriage. I'm not like an anti-marriage guy, but the anti-marriage guys are not wrong. They're not wrong. Major risk comes with getting married, especially for men. So make sure the person that you're going to marry is on the same page as you. Make sure, please vet them properly, and please think about it yourself and be sure that you're willing to risk everything that goes along with getting married. Anyways, that's all I got to say about the marriage thing. Assuming you want that, though, that is good. I like that. But again, I don't know how many women really want that today in like a biblical, serious sense. So you mentioned using dating apps. One thing I will say is I don't spend as much time as I used to on the dating apps, but if you're being upfront and you say you want something that's long-term and leads to marriage, isn't that on the dating apps as well? Last time I checked, it's been a while, they have all that in their profiles. At least Bumble did, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about all of them. But it should say looking for hookups, looking for long-term relationship, looking for fun, just looking for dates. So you got to do a better job of like weeding out the ones that you don't align with. Because if you guys aren't looking for the same thing right off the jump, you're just wasting your time. Now, when it gets to be somebody that on paper looks good, we check all the same boxes. Let's go on a date. Let's actually hang out and see the chemistry. What you got to pay attention to is character. Character over everything. Another thing that some people talk about, but more men need to pay attention to this when you're on a first date. When you're sitting down with a girl today, especially younger men, but this applies to everybody, you need to know how she feels about her family. Talk about her childhood. Sit back and don't say a word. Just pry. She needs to do 75% of the talking at least. You're just asking questions and getting to know her. You want to learn everything. You want to get all the intel, man. And like I said a minute ago, family is everything. You need to identify if she comes from a broken home. Because if she comes from a broken home and she doesn't love her parents, especially her father, the toxic guy is what's going to be what stimulates her. The good guy is not going to do it. The nice, traditional, self-respecting man ain't going to do it unless you are just so flippin' hot that animalistic rage in her just can't be contained. If you're that hot, I guess that, she'll still want to be next to you. But if you're just a normal guy, you better make sure that toxic doesn't feel like home. Because if toxic feels like home, it's only a matter of time before she gets bored with you. Ask those questions. See her facial expressions, her body language when she talks about her family. All the good memories that are supposed to be there, are they there? When you bring up her father, how does her face look? How does her facial, how does her body language in general look? That stuff's important, man. Do not overlook that. Try to take a minute to learn a little bit about body language. You don't have to be a specialist, of course. But look for those cues. I will say it to every man that goes on a first date. But the one thing I want to harp on the most in this video is just the whole looking for something that almost might not be there. Again, dating apps, some people are going to say in the comments, I'm sure, and I'll say it too, if you're looking for like a good, healthy woman in marriage, what are you doing looking in the dating apps? Because the analogy I'm going to use for dating apps is like going car shopping in a junkyard. You saying that you're looking for the things you're looking for is like me telling my friends, hey bro, I want to get a beautiful car with a flawless body that runs perfect, turnkey, no problems, low mileage, and I'm looking for it in the junkyard. Your friends are going to say, bro, I guess it's possible to find that, but you need to go to an expensive car lot or something. Bro, you can't shop for that in a junkyard. These are all junk. Sorry, lady, I'm not saying all of you are junk on the dating apps, but I think it's a fitting analogy. Looking for a good woman on a dating app is like looking for a super high quality car in a junkyard. It's just, not saying it's not possible, but it's not probable. You're going to walk miles and miles in these junkyards to find that, if you ever find that car. So, what do you guys think? Is that a good analogy? I think it's a good analogy. Anyways, yeah, man. make sure you are the guy she's looking for to the best of your abilities, if that makes sense. And also, I told him, like I tell everybody, pay attention to the comments, because my subscribers are pretty damn smart. I really enjoy reading the comments. Some of these videos take off to where I just cannot read all the comments, but I do my best, you guys. I've told you before, I work full-time. I work beyond full-time. I enjoy YouTube, but I can't spend nearly as much time on here as most people do. I do the best I can, but I try to read all the comments because I love reading them. If I can't get to them, I can't get to them, but I will do my best. And I told him to read the comments because I know there's going to be gems. Hey, that's enough of me yapping. Like the video. If you did like the video, you guys, like I always tell you, it helps me out a lot. I do got a handful of haters, and they always drop a thumbs down on my videos. So if you could take the time to offset them, I would greatly appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, God bless. Be well. I'm out.